All right, welcome back everyone. I am down here at Lake Morton making my little walk and talk video today. I'm playing around with my Insta360 X4 camera, and this gives me a lot of diversity whenever I'm making a video. I get to do things with this that I just can't do with other cameras. So I'm really hoping that that this will turn out well. Look, I see a little snail. I wonder, see a little snail down here. I wonder if something was trying to eat that and just gave up on it, or maybe they were done with it. Anyway, so there's a lot of swans, a lot of fowl down here on Lake Morton. Always has been. That's what this lake is popular for, is its swans. It's a beautiful day out here. Very few clouds, but I thought I'd just come down here to, I don't know, talk about, various things. Nothing real important, just fun stuff. Just fun stuff to talk about. It's November 30th, 2024, 2 days after Thanksgiving, to kind of put things into perspective. And I'm trying to stay away from the stores as much as I can. And it's 64 degrees out here, which in the sun where I'm standing right now, it's not too bad. It feels good. But in the shade, I feel really cool. I'm rather delicate. I've been living in Florida since 1986. So my blood has more than thinned out. Look at all these birds starting to come my way now. I think they're curious. Anyway, so yeah, this is actually my second Insta360 X4 camera, because the first one I felt like it had some glitches to it, which is kind of rare. I'm pretty confident when I buy a camera that it's going to work the way it should, and that I know that there are cameras that are glitchy from time to time, and people have to send them back. You hear about it, but those are far and few between. Well, I think I had one. I think I had one of the glitchy cameras, and so in editing, it'd be kind of herky-jerky, just kind of all over the place sometimes. So I reached out to them, and they said, well, hey, take some footage for us, show us what's happening, and then send the camera back, and then we'll take a look at it, and if we need to, we'll replace it or fix it, or whatever the case might be. And they said it would be like, I don't know, somewhere like 14 days or longer after they have it, that I might get it back. So I was kind of anticipating being without it for a while. I sent the camera out. I don't remember what the date was. I sent the camera out, and literally 9 days later, not business days, literally 9 days later, I had my camera back. They were quick and very easy to work with. So if you ever get a 360 camera and you have trouble with it, I will tell you the customer service was easy to get a hold of on the phone, which is a rarity these days. But I was very happy about that. I was not anticipating that. You know how everything is nowadays. You get somebody who either can't speak your language very well, or it's automated, or they're just going to give you a problem. Not Insta360. Nope. They were extremely helpful, very quick. In fact, if I didn't follow up with them quick enough, they would be in a hurry to follow up with me, which is refreshing, because you don't get that with a lot of companies. So I'm very happy and very pleased with Insta360. So this is my second one. Hopefully, I won't have any problems with this one. And that's what I'm doing now, is just finding out how this turns out. So I'm playing around with the settings, hoping that everything is Jake. Yeah. So in my last video, I talked about Christmas shopping and stuff like that, because it was on. That was on Thanksgiving. It was 2 days ago. I made that video. My wife had bought this pre-lit Christmas tree, and they tend to be rather expensive. I don't know how much she paid for it. I didn't ask. But It's a beautiful tree. I mean, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous tree. I love watching these birds. Anyway, my point is, we have this kitten. In fact, we have 7 cats in our house. I'm not bragging. Not bragging. It's nothing to brag about. 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them are my daughters. 2 of them are, actually. They're my daughters. And the latest one, this tiny little kitten we have, was found in the wheel well of a car. My sons were out walking with their friend one night in our neighborhood, and they heard all this loud meowing. And they said, "Dad, we think there's a kitten out there in someone's car." So we went out and we located the car, looked for it, scoured for it, and pulled it out from underneath the wheel well. Well, not wheel well. I don't know what you call it. But anyway, he was right near the tire. He had ridden 5 or 6 miles. We talked to the person who owned the car. He had just come from ordering food somewhere, and that sucker had ridden quite a ways away. I don't know how he survived, but we still have it. And this kitten chewed through the Christmas trees. I mean, no. I don't know what I'm saying now. This kitten chewed through the Christmas lights. Now, you hear about stuff like that, and probably one of the first things that comes to your mind when you hear that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where the cat just kind of vaporized after it chewed through the lights. I wish this kitten would have done that. Yeah. We don't need more cats. The world does not need more cats, despite all the popularity of them on social media. Anyway. Yeah, but that's what we're dealing with. And then I caught another one of my cats doing the same thing. One of my adult cats. I thought it was raining or something. I was sitting in the living room playing a video game, thought it was raining, and it turns out it was just the sound of one of my cats trying to chew through the cord, through the line. So here's some black swans. Yeah. Anyway, have you heard that the cathedral at Notre Dame has been, I guess it's finished now. You know how it caught fire, or someone set fire to it 5 years ago. Well, I think now they're done renovating it, and it's a pretty big deal, right? So I was looking at pictures of it. I've never been to Paris. I want to go to Paris. The thought of it is, well, it's intriguing. I know people who've been to Paris, and it's split. Some people say, it's not a big deal. Others are like, it's the most beautiful place in the world. But I would love to go, and one of the things I'd love to see is the cathedral, Notre Dame. So if you look at the pictures of the inside of it, I've seen a few, it does take on a different hue, where it used to be very gray and dark, at least from what I've seen. Now it's a lot more illuminated, and it's just so beautiful. Some people like that, some people don't. Some people want the medieval look. I don't really care. I would have loved to have seen it either way. But I noticed that I don't think you can go in it right now, if I'm not mistaken, because I was trying to read some things about it, and through Travelocity you can actually book outside tours. I think they're like around $36. But yeah, that's that would be something to do. I would love to go there. Have you ever been to Paris? Have you ever been to the cathedral? I was watching a video from the 1920s of Paris, where somebody has remastered the footage and made it 60 frames per second and colorized it and everything. And it was beautiful even back then. It was beautiful even back then. So, yeah. I'll tell you, one of the things we see sometimes down here are otters. from time to time, we will see otters. And I just think it's really cool when I do get the chance, because it's just so rare. But did you hear about that jogger, that female jogger in Malaysia that got attacked by a gang of otters? You can see they're setting up for Christmas here, or they've got their lights set up for Christmas. It's a lot prettier at night here, I will say. I mean, it's pretty during the daytime, but their lights here, decorations are nice. Anyway, so this woman was attacked by 8 otters. She said that she thought the otter that she saw was a cat, and they got aggressive with her and they came after her. I'm not laughing because I really think it's funny she got attacked, but it's just so bizarre. But you know, people think the otters are so cuddly looking and friendly looking, which maybe they could be, but they're actually quite aggressive. That's what I have learned just lately. And I'm going to extend this pole a little bit. All right. So that way you don't have to look at me the entire time. You can kind of take a look around here. But yeah, they're rather aggressive. And they're not to be tampered with. In fact, in the UK, the United States, and Japan, it's actually illegal to have a pet otter. Yeah. But 8 of them. It was kind of funny. I mean, not funny like ha ha, but funny strange that I've just never seen that many together. The most I've ever seen is 2, maybe 3 together at one time. But anyway, so one of the things I read about otters is that they have the densest fur, or the thickest fur of any animal. You have any guess as to just how thick their fur might be? So get this, their fur is so thick, they have 850,000 to 1 million hairs per square inch. That is crazy. No wonder they don't get wet to the skin, they don't get cold. I just can't, that's unfathomable to me. How that much hair could fit in 1 square inch. And otters are found in every state of the United States. But I've only seen them in the wild down here. And even at that, it's been rare. So, yeah. Just recently, I did my annual checkup at our clinic that we have, that our workplace has. And they said, chemically, everything is perfect with me. Chemically, everything is perfect. Everything looks so good. And I go, however, because you could just hear it. You could just hear it. And she goes, yes, however, your cholesterol is really high. She goes, it's unusually high. She goes, what happened? Well, my cholesterol tends to run kind of high anyway. It really does. It just tends to run kind of high. And I said, well, I'm not surprised. And I'm also not worried. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's really high, because when we started the post-hurricane work, they were feeding us a lot. And I don't normally eat breakfast, but you were kind of required to go to breakfast to meet with everybody. And I could choose not to eat while I'm there, but I'm not gonna not eat when everybody's eating, you know? I'm not one of those people. I'm not so diehard that I'm stuck in my ways and I need to make a point to myself and everybody else that I don't do this. I assimilate. I do assimilate. So anyway, yeah, she said, I'm not going to tell you how high it was. She goes, you're borderline to needing to be put on statins or something. She goes, well, you can come back in 3 months and we'll talk about maybe putting you on statins. I go, no, we're not doing that. I'm not getting on statins. I'm not getting on, and you know, frankly, quite frankly, I'm not worried about my high cholesterol. I've been doing a lot of research. I say a lot of research. I've been doing ample amounts of research over the last 5 years about cholesterol. And one of the things they say, one of the things that they found out is that all that they know about cholesterol has just been within the past 40 years. That's all they really know. And they're starting to find out that through studies that have been conducted and autopsies that have been conducted, is that people who have lived to a very old age tend to have higher cholesterol. Markers that would normally seem high. And that people who died of coronary disease under a certain age, like under 65 or something like that, people who died of coronary disease typically had lower cholesterol. So, yeah, they said they're believing that the higher cholesterol actually helps protect the older individuals. So I said I'm not really that worried about it. It's not quite as simple as I just said it. There's a lot more to it, obviously, but I said I'm not really that worried about it. But I tell you, the first time they ever told me that my cholesterol was high, some years ago, I lost sleep at night, and so I started doing my research, and so that's how I kind of know some of this stuff. I just recently bought 2 books about cholesterol and debunking the whole cholesterol thing about how they're saying that there's no such thing as good and bad cholesterol. That's not how it should be categorized. And so they're also saying that high cholesterol does not lead to heart disease. Other things may, but so I'm learning more about that. I'm going to be learning a lot more about that than I've ever learned before, and I hope that I can kind of fill you guys in, because many of you watching my channel are approximately, around my age, and so you're getting reports too, and I kind of want to, put some things to rest. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I do have the ability to read. And I hope it would encourage you to do some of your own work, likewise. And, I just want to know, if I have to go into the doctor and they want to start talking to me about statins, I want to be able to dialogue intellectually or intelligently. That's what I meant to say. I want to be able to do that. So I'm going to bone up on all of this and learn as much as I can, and then kind of fill you guys in as I go along. Look, he's not even trying to get away from me. He or she or whatever it is. Boy, it's a nice day out here today. So I started watching this new, it's not a new channel. I started watching, it's a new channel to me on YouTube. I think it's called That Chapter. And it's a guy, I don't know where he's from. I don't know if he's from Ireland or Scotland, whatever he is, but he's got somewhat of a strange accent, but he's very likable, and he talks about true crime stories. And it seems like most of them are in the U.S. Maybe they all are, I don't know. But he was talking about a story that took place in Florida. There's a lot of crime in Florida, I'm not gonna lie. And he goes, he was talking about the strangeness of this story, and he says, "Oh, this took place in Florida, of all places, because Florida," as if it can just be assumed that all the wacky crimes and wacky criminals live here. And he might not be wrong. He's got a very good point. So anyway, I started looking up like the address of where this crime took place, and now I want to drive out there to Claremont. It's in Claremont, and look at the house. I don't know. For some reason I feel compelled to do some kind of a video about it. And I don't know, that's not the reason I'm telling you all this. He mentioned something in that video that I thought was interesting, was compelling. Okay, so he said you can literally go to, Florida's so strange that you can literally go and Google Florida man and put in your birthday. Like, it really could be any day. Obviously it could be any day. And you're going to find some weird crime with a headline that starts with Florida man. He's right. So I did. Oh, I didn't bring it with me. Oh, I didn't bring it with me. Oh, I was going to bring my phone so I could actually read you this police report. Anyway, this man, I don't know where it was at here in Florida. This Florida man assaults his mother with sausage. He had a stick of sausage, argued with her, and so he threw the stick at her. She said she wasn't hurt. I don't even know if he actually hit her. I mean, if it's assault, he must have. She says she wasn't hurt though, but the article reads, I mean, the headline reads, Florida man assaults mother with sausage. Yeah, so do that. Go to Google, put in the search engine, Florida man, or whatever your birthday is, or whatever date you want. You're gonna find something, some wacky, really out there crime that was committed that really, quite frankly, embarrasses us all, us law-abiding Floridians. Yeah. So, being November 30th, I took a look at what happened on this day. Well, I don't really know what happened on this day, November 30th, except for the fact there's a few people, a few very recognizable people were born, and a few died. And here's what they came up with. On this day in 1835, Mark Twain was born. Mark Twain, you know, the author of Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, and things like that. Then Winston Churchill was born on this day in 1874. And Woody Allen was born this day in 1935. I guess he's still around. He's kind of made himself look bad over the years. But I will say his movies are pretty stinking funny. And I know some people will probably balk at that, but I'm able to separate the individual from their work or from their art or their craft or whatever the case might be. And I think it's wise to be able to do that. I think we should do that to some degree, because if anybody took a look at each and every one of us and sussed everything out, I just stepped on a shell. If everybody was looked at under a magnifying glass, none of us would be well liked by anybody, right? So, yeah. But those are the individuals who were born on this day, and George H.W. Bush died on this day in 2018. Evel Knievel died on this day in 2007. Now I was born in 1970. He was popular before I was even born, doing crazy stuff, jumping over buses in the Grand Canyon and things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to be him. I don't know what his deal was. I think the guy probably broke every bone in his body. Seriously. But also on this day, Michael Jackson released Thriller. Yeah, he released Thriller on this day, and Pink Floyd released their album, The Wall. Any Pink Floyd fans out there? Oh well, Pink Floyd. So, by the way, Michael Jackson released Thriller. I think it was, I had marked this down, I forgot to mention it, but that was 1982. Pink Floyd released The Wall in 1979. But also, in good news, on this day, the Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, was caught and arrested in 2001. Yeah, I was 31 years old. And he was convicted. He pled guilty to 48 murders. He claimed to have killed up to 80 women or more. Yeah. So there you have it. Miscellaneous items, miscellaneous news. Nothing real important. I've always liked this building, the cirrhosis building. Not cirrhosis of the liver. I have no idea what that actually means. But that's such a pretty building. All right. So one last thing before I get going. And that is, since I mentioned Mark Twain, I figured I'd leave you with a couple of quotes of his. And also because I mentioned cats, I figured I'd kind of blend the two. And so the first Mark Twain quote I'll leave you with is, "A man who carries a cat by the tail learns something he can learn in no other way." Yeah. A man who carries a cat by the tail learns something he can learn in no other way. That's so true. But the one I really want you to ponder is when he said, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." The secret of getting ahead is getting started. What is it you have an ambition for, a drive for, but you just haven't really gotten it off the ground because you can't figure out exactly how you're supposed to do it? You don't know if you have everything you need to be able to do it. You don't have the confidence to think that people will like what you do. Just get started. Just go out and get started. Whatever it is that you want to do, just get moving and let nature take its course, and kind of let the art, the craft, or the work, whatever it is, kind of lead the way. And you might be surprised. Don't sweat it. Just get to it. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it turns out well. I just never know about these things. I never know. I really hope I really hope this camera's not glitching out, because I doubt that I'll return it again. You know, unless it's like super bad. But all right, guys, I'll leave links down below. I'll catch you in the next one. In the meantime, be wise.